Maybe you guys can do a collab.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, he said he down. He down.
What's up, everybody? This is Russell Slayton, CEO and founder of Boosted. I'm here with Brittany, Cameron, and Booby with the shades. He's the guy with the shades on, looking smooth as egg. We're here with a silly Boosted video.
Hey, what's up? It's Booby here. Looking forward to it, man. It's great to see you guys.
So, Booby, you played basketball at Texas.
Yes, sir.
What do you remember most about playing basketball at Texas? Is there a moment, or is there a time, or a shot?
Man, I would just say, like, at the time, before I got there, Texas was more of like a football school. So we ain't really get the kind of love that the love kind of grew when we got there after TJ Ford. And so I would say, going to a school like that in Austin, it's like a college town. You know what I mean? The fans come out and they come out in droves and they support. So that college feeling of just love, excitement, and togetherness was probably like the biggest thing. But a lot of people don't know this. LaMarcus Aldridge, we told each other in high school after we played against each other, we both had like 50. We told each other we were gonna go to the same school. And so we chose to go to Texas together. And then I would say the best moment that I had was us both getting drafted, that coming out in that 2006 class after we, went there, did what we were supposed to do, handled our business, and worked our way to the league.
That was a hell of a draft class. Who else was in that class?
Oh man, that McDonald's game, that we had like maybe 22 of us go to the league. So we talking Dwight Howard. I'm talking about from the McDonald's game. I don't remember the top of the draft, but because that was like Tyrus Thomas. It was a few other guys that kind of got in there. But we talking Rondo, Sebastian Telfair, Josh Smith, J.R. Smith. The list just goes on and on of the guys that was in that McDonald's game. It was probably one of the most legendary ones ever.
Were you one of the guys on the bus that Sebastian Telfair called country at the McDonald's game?
Yeah.
You were one of the guys?
Yeah. There was a lot of us, man. It was a lot of us. We all came from the South, and he ain't know nothing about it being from New York. So yeah, that was all of us. Sean Livingston was there. Yeah, it was so many talented guys.
And that was like the age where like the high school and one and dones, I felt like they were getting the most buzz and national attention. And I think this is one thing that I'm really disappointed at. And like, I feel like people don't know basketball. I think that Dwight Howard is easily a top 75.
Oh, how is he not? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the criteria is. I don't know who's doing the voting, but I just don't understand how you can leave him out. Like, he has championships. He has defensive player of the years. He led that Orlando team that beat us that year.
That was one of the best performances ever.
That was supposed to be the moment Bron and Kobe got to have their moment. And here comes this guy. Like, we couldn't do nothing with him. Like, that's what I mean. Like, he was a force of nature. I just feel like sometimes the media kind of takes away from guys, kind of like they doing with like Russ now. It kind of like takes away from their legacy. And then, it hurts them when they go to make these lists for the greats. They tend to forget the greatness, and it's not fair. I think he definitely deserves to be top 75.
He was doing everything. He was blocking everything, rebounding everything, and I mean,
completely changing the game. Yeah.
All due respect to that was the best performance from a big man that we've ever seen outside of like in my like life, in our like young.
Right.
30s, 40s, 20s year old. That was the best performance of any big I have ever seen outside of Shaq.
Nah, he was absolutely like dominant. Like, it was nothing like we was double teaming. But I mean, he was just a force of nature. He's one of those bigs that, you can't do nothing with, like Shaq, like one of the most dominant bigs of all time. I just feel like he got a bad rap.
Yeah, I hear you. And the other thing is that team, he had like a nice team, but it really wasn't that good. I mean, like,
there were no other stars.
Turkoglu was the second best player, I think, on the team. Like, he made some big shots. He made the shots against you too, right? Like,
yeah, he did. Yes, he did. But a big sleeper on that team was Rashard Lewis. He was like people forget just how good he was. Like he was an all-star a few years, and like he like flies under the radar. Even when he played with a couple of those Heat teams that won the championship. He's from Houston, so I'm a little biased, but he he got game, and he was one of the guys that like helped put them over the top. But yeah,
that was Jameer Nelson running the point too. Jameer Nelson,
JJ Redick, yeah.
Yeah, they were good, not great, but he was.
Without him though, that's a completely different team. That's a lottery team without him.
So, what was your favorite part about your life when you were playing in the NBA?
Just competing with like the greatest players in the world, like every night. Like you worked your whole life to have that moment. And then like every night, like one night you got Kobe, and then the next night you got D Rose, and then the next night you got Kevin Durant. And it's like, when you love basketball, like that's a dream come true. You get to get out there and get to it with the best in the world. So I would say that was just the best experience ever. And for me, the moments that I had in the playoffs, like at the highest stage, which kind of like in Cleveland, still to this day, man, like shout out to Cleveland. Like every time I go out there, man, they treat me like with so much like love, and like from some of those playoff performances. So I would just say like, yeah, that was probably the best part, like that playoff atmosphere and just being able to compete, like, on that stage. Okay,
now I think I already know your answer to this, but who was the best player you ever played with or against?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll give you two then. So since we know LeBron, like, by far is like that, people don't understand just how much, I mean, I guess they do understand because he's the king. But from my perspective, like, he was at my workout when I worked out for the Cavs. I only worked out for two teams coming into the draft, the Rockets and the Cavs. And had a terrible workout for the Rockets. I was like, oh God, I'm not gonna make it to this. I was like, shit. But my next one was the greatest workout I ever could possibly have. Like, I don't really be dunking like that, but I was dunking, making threes. And he was there in the corner. And so once I had my meeting with Mike Brown, they kind of told me a little bit, like, didn't tell me, but like, we got 3 picks. And, Brown was even like excited about your workout. And so I'm like, damn, if I get a chance to play with Brown, like, that could really like catapult my career. Like, so I'm gonna take that chance. So I didn't work out for nobody else and just put all my eggs in that basket. And I guess, his stamp of approval, they picked me. And that's kind of, I feel like he kind of took me under his wing. And that's how basically that game 6 happens my rookie year for us to go to the finals. Game 5, he scores 28 points in a row. That was the overtime. Tell me about it. When I saw this, I'm like, I'm watching this.
Was that the Celtics or the Pistons?
The Pistons, yeah. The Pistons. I'm thinking about it as it's happening. I'm like, man, this guy's better than Mike. Like, I'm like, because I'm watching this unfold, and this is like his 3rd year in the league. And so after that game, he comes to me, he's like, I know they're gonna double. Yeah, be ready to shoot. Like, kind of putting it in me, like, be ready. And then, I had the best game of my life, that game 6 for us to go to the finals. And just all because of him. Like, I get my contract because of him. So I would say Bron is my favorite player to play with of all time. And against, I would have to go prime D Rose.
Too much going on there.
Oh man, he'll be running, right? He'll be running like kind of slow-mo. And then when he decided to take off, it's like nothing you can do. Slow to quick, nobody can stop it. That explosion.
That's crazy. Your game actually complemented LeBron's really well because early in his career, he wasn't shooting like threes. Like, so he needed some space on the floor. He needed some people to kick the ball to. So.
And like, kind of like, that's kind of why I hate what Russ getting right now. Because if y'all set the team up without the right complementary pieces, it ain't gonna look the best. And so, like me, I compliment him well because I can stand in the corner and make a shot. But that's not Russ' game. So now if he's gonna look bad.
He has LeBron on the floor, and then AD needs his touches too. So like, just everybody around him, even like Melo, everybody on the floor I don't even need to watch the Lakers that much. I completely understand it.
You know what I mean?
Because he's a ball heavy person. He's the type of dude that averages a triple-double. And like, you know, he's the type of guy that wants to go. He's beneficial when he could use his speed, but how are you going to use your speed off the ball? Like,
you know what I mean? Yeah. And so his legacy, like we were talking about with the wife, is gonna take a big hit because of this. And it's like that don't change what he's done. That don't change the, you know, everything he's done in his career because of you know, one tough season. So yeah, it kind of sucks.
he'll go to almost any other team in the NBA. If they put the ball in his hands, he'll be an all-star again.
Right. Exactly.
That's just how it is.
So, but the scary thing is though, a lot of teams already have like they guard now, like their guy. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, he really went there. Everybody knows he went there because he wanted a championship, you know. And as elite as Westbrook is, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you saw it like the year before in the playoffs. Like LeBron was pinning his shit off the glass. he knew no matter what to get this. LeBron just had his numbers. So he was like,
I mean, he kind of does that. He kind of does that to everybody, but yeah, for sure he was.
But like, you know, he really had Westbrook's numbers. So Westbrook was probably thinking to himself, like, "Yo, I either gotta join him or go against him."
Right.
Against him, he's been locking my shit up for years.
Yeah. Back can't beat him, join him, exactly.
But he's a dog though. I mean, he's in my.
Yeah, man, I love that guy, man. That's why, like, when you talk about the legends of the game, like he go out there and play the game harder than anybody, like, has played it in years, you know what I'm saying? And me being a guy that's injury prone, which is why I stopped playing, I got a lot of respect for that because it's really hard to do. To play 82 games at that level is really hard to do.
You know, and on top of the other thing I see in like Westbrook, right, is he's this alpha male, right? Like, like in the whole OKC thing, like we're not talking about Kevin and Durant. And I know you're an NBA personality, so you can't say too much. I'll say it, right? Like,
right.
He's the one who like stuck it out and was like, I want to take on this Kobe, Michael Jordan mentality. He's like, I want the weight on my shoulders. I want to attack everything. So kudos to him for that because he was the person that like didn't punk out. You know what I mean? He gave it everything he got. And you know, that's why he's the only person to ever do something.
Well, hold on. If you were insinuating that the other guy punked out, you know, that's my Texas homie, so I gotta hold him down. I feel like
he didn't punk out. He didn't punk out, but it looked like he did, but he didn't. Like he did what was. Now let me tell you something. You know who really punked out? Oklahoma City Thunder, right? They had KD.
Right.
Ibaka. That was the best like backcourt ever, and they all had chemistry, right?
You let him go.
You let him go for who was it again? Cephalosha. You know, like. You know,
I completely forgot about Cephalosha. Exactly, because he didn't want to pay that money. Exactly.
They like, you know, you could say these things like they could have played together, and you know who else they missed out on? Like, this guy's at practice every day. He's playing in the court. Like you're a coach. You're coaching the team. How do you miss James Harden being an MVP candidate and he's right in front of you? So no, it's not KD's fault. It's not Russell Westbrook's fault. It's not James Harden's fault. It
That's
is
a hot take.
Sam Presti. If you are watching this, you are the worst general manager of all time. I'm sorry, you gotta go.
Nah, that's a hot take. No, because he was the first domino to fall. So you're right. He let the first domino fall, and that was like that led to kind of everything else kind of just having to. Like it was at that point. What do you do?
Best backcourt ever in the history of the game, right there. If you just like let it happen, then like, you know, you let James Harden.
I ain't paying him that money. Yeah, that was the beginning of the end.
The funny thing is, Harden.
I've never heard that take. They're pretty good.
They're both ball heavy, but they can play with each other because it's the two combo guard, like two big combo guards. Like they can play together. But like whenever you have somebody who's so ball heavy that, you know, and they both can pass. It doesn't work with LeBron and Westbrook, but but Harden and Westbrook would have really worked. And of course, KD is KD. He plays.
Right. Yeah. Nah, they for sure. They had already went to the finals. They had already tasted it in 2014 against the Heat. So they were already primed So exactly, I feel like had they spent a little more time together, they would have had plenty more opportunities to get a couple ships.
They'd probably still be winning them to this day, to be honest.
Facts.
What is Booby's world? What does it mean? What is it inspired by?
Want real love daily. That's what the world stands for. I guess I've never said that out loud, but that's like what the world stands for. And me, like in my brain, it like plays as a cartoon, like literally, like that's like how my life plays out. So Booby's world is like a like microcosm of that, like how I live my life. I really be in my own world, and it's just all about love. So that's really what Booby's world represents. So I stamp it on everything I do when it comes to my story. And the brand, I just want the world to feel the same way. Just spread love and move just like that.
Who's your biggest inspiration in your life?
Oh, good question.
Booby.
I was still,
Booby's his biggest inspiration.
Man, I gotta go with my granny, man. My granny, yeah, she's no longer with us, but she coined the name Booby. A lot of my family, they call me Dan, Gib, D Gib, but you know, I was always her Booby baby when I was young. And so, yeah, when I heard that game earlier that I was talking about, that Game 6 game when I had 35, that game, like the entire arena was just like, Booby, Booby. And I got like chills from it, because I felt like, you know, I had made her proud, and she was the one that gave me that name. So I have to say that she's kind of inspired my entire life. She's the reason why, you know, I want to spread love with the name Booby's World. It's kind of like, yeah, she's the one. So I give it all to her.
Who's the most interesting person that you've met?
Little Booby. Interesting. You know, man, at the celebrity game, just this past celebrity game, Tiffany Haddish had me in tears on the bench. I couldn't play because I hurt my knee. And the whole game, she was just talking about everybody. So I give it to her.
I love Tiffany Haddish. She's a Jewish sister, and like she's funny and
man, just so real, so honest. Yeah, she's dope.
You know who are a couple of the other, like, you know, people that are Jewish people that I'm a fan of, that like people don't expect, is Laura London.
I was gonna say, you said Jewish. She's Jewish.
Yeah, she's Jewish.
That's dope.
I didn't know it either. Laura London, Nipsey's wife, and then what's her name? It's not Kesha. What's her name? She sings the song.
You know, I don't know.
Sing it for us.
Yeah, give us a couple bars.
That's the part that gets scratched. We'll get back to it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I didn't know they were Jewish. That's what's up.
Yeah, there's this rapper now. I want to say Cat, maybe not Cat Stacks. She like sings this song. She's all on the radio now. She was on Little Dicky TV show. It's killing me.
I don't know, dog.
Which lifestyle did you enjoy the most? Or are they all interchangeable? Basketball, music, or like television personality?
Basketball is my first love. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm out here right now talking to the owner of the Kings, because I'm like, I have to be around basketball forever. But when it comes to music, like, I feel like that's when I feel like the most free. Like, that's when I can let my alter ego out, and I can like talk about the things that I don't talk about to like nobody else. It's like my free space. So I would say that's like the most fun, but like the thing that I'm the most passionate about is forever be that round ball. And the TV stuff is just like for fun. It's just like a hustle. I don't take that too serious. But if you want to win, put Booby in. You heard.
If you want to win, put Booby in.
What's your favorite drop so far? We got Boo Bear #1. We got the DJ Screw Bear. Now we got the Trill Bear. What's your favorite?
You gonna make me pick. What's your favorite? I think he said he liked the first one because it was like the original. So I think he goes with that one. But yeah, I love them all though.
The OG. No, that's my favorite too.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little Bear family in a minute. I love it.
What's your favorite genre of food?
My favorite genre of food?
Yeah, like Mexican, Italian. What are you feeling the most?
Yeah, junk food. Burgers.
Like fast food?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's like I hate it. Like, I shouldn't, because like I'm always trying to stay in shape and get in shape. But like, yeah, I would say like, yeah, the worst foods are usually what I tend to migrate to. I usually, like, if I go somewhere fancy, I'll probably get some fries and some chicken or something like that's kind of
chicken
like
tenders, some ketchup.
Country boy, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm him.
Are you more of a chocolate cookie skillet guy or a cheesecake kind of guy?
You know what? I guess that's where I balance out, because I eat junk food, but I don't really do dessert. Like, I ain't really like a big sugar guy. Like, I don't really do too much on the sugar side. I barely eat ice cream. Is that weird? Does that?
No,
But everybody uses not weird.
No, I'm the same way. I don't eat like sweets, but I love like anything fried.
Right. Okay. Cool. Got it. Thought it was just me.
What's a late night craving you can't escape?
See, this is what we was just talking about just now in the hotel last night. I came in late. I had no business ordering I had no business eating a double cheeseburger at 2:00 in the morning. I had no business doing it, but just last night I did it. And I regret it.
PG answer. I really know what your late night cravings are. There's booby hours.
I hate it, man. I hate it. I hate myself for it. What'd you say? Yeah, I told you we good. I like these guys. He says he like you guys.
My dog. Thank you.
Does he want a merch site?
Oh yeah, you know, he stay ready. He stay ready. What you say?
We gotta get him
He said his would be better than mine.
What's your top 5 favorite music albums?
Yeah, Get Rich or Die Trying for sure. That's like
I thought it was my number 1, right? I thought it was. It's like the biggest hit ever.
Got
so if you go back and you listen to it now, it's not good.
Is it not?
It's not.
I know. Yes, it is.
No,
You're not doing it.
You're not
doing that.
I tried for years. You go back and listen to it now, and like the bars are so elementary. They're so elementary.
Nah, when I was in the 12th grade and I'm getting ready for like a basketball game, and then many men on me. That is like, it's so many songs out there. Like, and you gotta listen to music, like, because like you gotta let it be. You can't bring it to now and try to, you know what I mean? It's like the sound was different, and it's like the moment that they was capturing was different, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's kind of why it still holds the same way to me.
Keep going. What's your other 4?
5 of them, though. That's a lot, but I don't even listen to other people that much. Ready to Die, because that's my favorite rapper of all time, by Biggie. Don't Mess with Texas. I'll give you 3. Lil Kiki, because that's kind of where I kind of found my love for rapping and just writing rhymes and just connecting my poetry to music. That was kind of where it started when Don't Mess with Texas album dropped. That's what I'm saying. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, I'll give you that one. That's the vibes I like. So yeah, I take it away from the rap.
Yeah, I got you. I've been listening to Lil Durk's album the past 2 days.
The newest one?
Yeah, and I'm walking around my house calling everybody police.
Yo, man, you my guy forever, man. You funny, man.
I'm telling my 4-year-old, like my wife, I call my wife the feds, like, Joni, you gotta eat your vegetables. The feds is
Turn it up with that, man. I haven't listened. I actually haven't listened to Durk's newest one yet. I ain't listened to it.
It's good. I think, like, you know, there's only one track on there that I don't like. He's doing the singing, like, you know, he's singing a lot, but I think that it's actually fire.
Yeah. No, I mess with Durk though, so I'm going to listen to it. I just haven't.
And I'm a tough critic on all like the new generation music. Like, you know, my favorite rapper ever was Nipsey Hussle.
Wow, see, I knew it was a reason I like you. That was one of my favorite rappers of all time too.
number one. I've been on the marathon since like probably since Bullets Had No Name, like type of thing. Like,
oh yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Like, yeah, because I'm the same way. I was listening to him long before a lot of people, before he started to kind of become mainstream, even though he never really did. I was listening to him, man, yeah.
You know, like people don't understand he has a story. Like you got to listen to the Marathon Continues. Like it's a story. People are just, oh, they're banging his new stuff. Like what's it called? Like Victory Lap, you know, like they're going back and like listening to those, like
right.
newer, and that's where he started buzzing. But really, you got to get on the Marathon Continues if you're gonna start.
Yeah. Deeper than rap, like he got a lot of stuff. Like my favorite used to be Status Symbol too, but like off of the old tape.
Yeah, I hear you. My favorite song is a hidden track. It's like the outro on the Marathon.
Gotcha.
I think it comes right after Blue Laces. But yeah.
I know they added a few to that one too. Mine is 4 in the morning. Oh, you gotta listen to that. It's
I know 4 in the morning.
You know 4 in the morning?
Yeah, I know.
Got you mounting. Oh, in the mouth.
Yeah, everything he's you know, I have trouble like listening to other rappers because you know who they are, and I feel like he was just.
And he really motivated me a lot to do a lot of like work like he was doing in the community, in my community. Like I'm starting up a couple businesses in my area to where, you know, I can give people jobs and they can have better food. Like some of the same things he was doing in that little plaza, like I'm doing in Houston, just based off of his inspiration.
He was really like a leader in like being 10 toes in, like, you know, like owning your own, cutting out the middleman and 360.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Like knowing the masters to all his music, like, you know, he made it loud and clear. So
he taught you how not to hustle backwards, like how to own your stuff, and like, you know what I mean, like stand on everything that you believe in, and like you yourself can be the brand. Like you don't have to depend on anybody. And he got Jay-Z by that tape for like what it was, like 100,000 or something. Like I forget what he did.
Like 10,000 CDs or something.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. He did it the right way, and I always respected that about him.
You got a question for us, Bear?
Nah, he said I'm killing it. He said he likes the interview.
Killing it. Which teammate would you not let date your daughter?
Kyrie. Not just playing. That's my little bro. Probably Larry Hughes. Just because like when I first got to the league, he kind of showed me like, you know, how to move. So I would keep it away. You know what I'm saying? I would have thrown, you know what I mean? I could throw all the way under the bus, but I would say that.
Yeah. And I remember we talked before. Kyrie, I think, has like the best game I've ever seen in a basketball player. Not a basketball player, but best game. Like moves, ball on the floor, does stuff you're not supposed to do all around. Dribbles.
If you talking about earlier top 75, my boy deserves to be top 75. I don't care what nobody got to say about it. He got a championship. And if we talking about skill players, like you just described, like we're talking about skills, there's never been a player with a better handle ever. There's never been a player with a better layup package ever. There's never been you know what I mean? There's never been a player like that ever. So how can he not be in the top 75 players of all time? You know what I mean?
He was a Steph Curry killer. Like I think he's talent-wise.
And I don't want to get into that because that's kind of what started the whole idea of, I feel like, why he felt like he wanted to leave Cleveland. If I'm keeping it all the way a buck 1,000, he felt like no matter what he did, he wasn't getting no respect. And he was killing.
They called him Batman. I mean, they called him like Robin. Like it was like Robin, Batman. And to be honest, like he is the best. I think this is gonna sound crazy, right? Like I love Allen Iverson. I love Steph Curry. I think there's a period in time where it might even still be today, where I feel like he's the best point guard I have ever seen, especially all around. Steph Curry's the best shooter I've ever seen, but Kyrie got the best game I've ever seen. You remember the way he finishes like these layups,
and he just had 50 on 15 for 19 shooting, 9 for 12 from 3. Like, come on. And he's only 6'2", so that's telling you he can get to wherever he want to get to on the court with his hand.
But he was like blocking Steph Curry's layups, like, you know.
Yeah.
You know what, but I got to give credit to Curry because every year he always still.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I hate that. Like I hate that giving Kyrie love, people will try to say that you like taking away from Steph. Like, no, Steph is the greatest shooter ever. Me being a great shooter myself, he's an alien because I don't know how you handle the ball like that and just launch from anywhere and you just be knocking it down like that. He's out of here. But we talking about two totally different, you know what I mean, things.
That's game. We're not saying.
Yeah, and Kyrie has the total package. There's nothing that he can't do with a basketball. And the NBA is lucky bro wasn't 6'6", because if he was 6'6", it'll be over for everybody.
I got this little kid in Pittsburgh that I think's the next LeBron James, like, or next like once in a generation basketball player. He's my little man.
In Pittsburgh.
Like a late.
How old is he now?
He's a late bloomer. He's a senior in high school this year. He's 6'6", but he's still growing. He's gonna end up being like a 6'11" Drew Holiday.
Yeah, he can handle the ball and stuff too.
Ball, like genetics are out of this world. Athletic, handles, shoots, finishes, all that stuff. And then he'll give you like 11 blocks in a game and runs the point. Like, and I mean, like,
how can I check him out? You gotta put me in.
I'll show him you. I'll show him.
Yeah.
We'll do
like,
that.
I'm literally a basketball junkie. Like, it's like I literally watch basketball all day. Like, yeah. So I would love to see it.
He was, because of the pandemic and not playing on the circuit, like he was completely missed. And then he grew, like last year he was 5'11". He only had a couple D1 offers, right? You know how good you got to be to get a D1 offer at 5'11", right? You grew up 6'6" and you're still athletic and you're going to be like 6'11", maybe 7 foot.
Yeah. And that's kind of what happened with AD. Because he start off like that. He started off like
grew like that. AD was like a guy with skills that grew a lot, you know, but he wasn't like that cold point guard, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
He was like a high major point guard at like 5'11", you know, like he was like.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like.
That sounds very enticing. I'm interested to see.
Kentucky's just came like on recruiting him, and like I showed him to an NBA Hall of Fame coach, right? Loves him. Right.
Yeah.
I basically put this kid on, like discovered all that stuff. Even though I knew him since he was like a baby, so I knew it was gonna happen the whole time. Like I knew it.
Yeah.
He got missed because of the circuit in the pandemic, and I feel like a lot of people, like, you know, this is outside of topic, but I feel like there's a lot of people that get missed out on because of ages, situations, and you know, there's a lot of there's players who are overseas right now, good enough to play in the NBA.
Absolutely. It's a political game too.
There's players probably on the bench in the G League that could go and contribute minutes.
Absolutely, right, for sure.
And then there's players like that are on the bench. There's probably some things like as far back, like as players on the bench in the NBA that could fuck around and be an NBA All-Star if given the ball.
It's the politics of the game. There's a lot of things that come into the game that weigh in or factor guys getting on the court or even making it to the NBA. To be honest, it's a really hard thing to do because it's not always just about your talent. It's not always just about how good you are. You know what I mean? So, and Ja Morant is low key like the poster boy now for what you're saying. So sometimes it's a blessing that they kind of looked over you. You know what I mean? So then you get into
late bloomer and Giannis. Like, you know, like let's look at this NBA draft where they took Giannis 16th.
Yeah.
Right? Took him like 6th. Was it 12th or 16th? Yeah. Number 1 pick in the draft, Anthony Bennett.
Yeah. Wow.
No disrespect to Anthony. Sorry.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, no, meaning if we talking about basketball, we talking about Giannis, not Anthony Bennett. We talking about how great Giannis has become.
Number 6 pick, Nerlens Noel. I could have watched the layup line
and knew that was the case.
Like, yo, like that's the guy. Like, I want to take a shot. Like, that's the guy. Like, I'm gonna do it on. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Math, like I said it like during that draft. I was like, this is the best player in this draft because it's a combination between like. Okay, you have to have game. You got to understand the game, but there's a combination between character and like your genetics and like talent pool that like he just kind of like aced, like, you know, like, and he just set him further apart. Like,
but see, if you talking about Giannis pre NBA Giannis.
I'm talking about coming from Greek A2.
He was skinning bones.
Do the math though. Like, you look at him like, oh, this kid's gonna work. He has a frame. Like, he just grew. Late bloomer. Like, you know, late bloomer just grew late.
I mean, he was kind of built like Nerlens Noel though.
But he could put the ball on the floor and run like a gazelle.
Right. But like, different. So you mean you could put all those factors together and say, if you put a little bit of something on it, put a little weight on, ain't nobody gonna be able to do nothing with him. That's what you're saying. That you should be able to see that.
You should be able to see that. You know, like,
but what I'm also learning though, a lot of these teams that are a lot of these people that are in these front offices, they don't know basketball. They ain't played a lick of basketball in their life. The people that's picking the players. So that's kind of another thing when I say it gets a little bit political in terms of the players that get drafted and the guys that make it to the league.
I want to agree with you, right? I understand where you're coming from. I don't think that's necessarily the problem. I think that the problem is there's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many saying like, there's too many like hoopers, too many smart people, and the owner gets involved, and then the GM's involved, and then the player gets involved, and like, there's too many cooks in the kitchen, and they can't. Yeah. If there was just like one decision maker that could make a good decision, it is not rocket science. I feel like there was no.
Whoever you hire for that task, let them do it. Basically, like, we don't need. You don't somebody specifically for this, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
I remember going to like Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, and like you look up on like the left section of the bleachers, and the New York Knicks had like 25, 30 scouts there. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, you guys are only got like one roster spot. I don't even know if you guys have a draft pick this year. Like,
right?
What are you doing here? Like, all you guys got an opinion, and of course
they gotta all agree before we get back. Like, we take it.
$3-4 million on payroll just for your scouts. And
right.
You can't get to the playoffs.
Yeah. You know, that makes sense for the Knicks to have all them scouts there, and they ain't won a championship. And I don't know how many. What are they doing?
No, what are they?
Why are they? You know what I'm saying? What are they doing?
What's the best way to rock Booby merch? Like, can you give me an outfit? What's the best, like, piece everything together? How would you wear it?
Well, see, me, I kind of got a little, obviously, a swag I like to stick to, mostly like the cozy swag. Like, it's always like the hoodie with the hat and the sweats. Like, I wear that to the club sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. It's just, it's like a basketball thing, I guess. So, yeah, just the cozy swag. That's normally my go-to look.
What piece are you wearing the most nowadays?
Usually the crew, like the crew neck or the hoodie or whatever, because, yeah, I could put my ice on top of it.
We have our models here. Show off your merch.
Right.
Got a hoodie on.
Yeah.
Nah, this guy right here, you stay rocking the merch, and I love you for it.
He lives in that merch, I promise you.
Man, I love him for it, for sure.
And other than the club, where's the best place to rock Booby merch?
I mean, everywhere. That's the way that I try to present it. I like it to be where you can wear it at home when you're chilling. You can wear it to the store. You can wear it to class. You can go to the gym, or you can wear it to the club. Like I said, it's pretty much you can wear it anywhere. It's I try to make it just comfy and cozy, so you can just do your thing and do you.
And what's the future for Booby merch? Like, do you have any short-term goals, any long-term goals, anything we have to look forward to?
Well, yeah, I want to continue to make, Booby the brand. Like, Lil Booby, as you can see, this is like my alter ego. So that's where the bear always comes from. So I just want to continue to kind of, make him proud and keep coming up with dope ideas, dope designs, or whatever to continue to express myself. And hopefully the fans keep loving it, and we're going to keep doing it.
What's like some advice you would give anyone that's thinking about starting their own brand? Maybe they come across Boosted. What would you tell them about Boosted and your experience with it?
Man, I would say Boosted is perfect for anybody, for any entrepreneur that's trying to start a brand. You got a dope idea, you got a dope following. They can give you everything else you need. All you gotta do is come with the idea and a little bit of branding, and I mean, they take care of the rest. So I love it, and I recommend it to anybody. All right, y'all, I'm headed out. Me and Booby are out of here. Go cop the merch. Link in the bio. Like, follow, share. Oh yeah, what? Everybody get boosted.